Hello, today we're going to start a Bible study on the book of James. It's called Practical Christianity. James 1, James, a bondservant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes who are dispersed abroad. Greetings. First of all, who is James? Who are the 12 tribes, and why are they dispersed? James was the head of the church in Jerusalem. He was the head elder, and he was the half brother of Jesus. He grew up with Jesus, although James did not believe who Jesus was. Jesus appeared to him after his resurrection, and he came to faith in Jesus. The 12 tribes are the Hebrew tribes, and they have been dispersed among the nations since the Babylonian exile. Some of them came back and re-established Israel, but there were still a majority of them a lot out dispersed among the other nations. Plus, there was also some dispersion caused by persecution of the early church. Although the book is addressed specifically to the Jewish believers, it was also believed to have been shared among the Gentile believers. The book of James is believed to have been one of the first writings of the New Testament. The book of James, or more accurate, the letter of James, was written to give practical advice to believers who didn't have the advantage of living near the apostles and other church leaders at the time. So there were things going on that he needed to address and correct. When we look at this introduction to the letter of James, what can we apply to our lives today? When we look at this introduction, we see a leader who cared much for those, not only those under him, but not just those who were near him physically, where he was ministering, but also to those of like beliefs. He cared enough to send them some practical insights into living this new life. He wanted them to know how and why they were were to be different. This is a letter that was meant to be passed from one group of believers to the next, sort of like an instructional manual. James sent this primarily to Jewish believers because at this point in time, that was the majority of believers, and most still gathered at synagogues for worship and instruction. The other thing we see in this introduction is the open-ended salutation, the inclusion of the whole, not addressed to one specific gathering of people, but to all Jewish and even Gentile believers. He will continue this theme of inclusion throughout the letter. We're going to take a look at James topic by topic over the next several weeks. I hope you can participate with comments and questions. If you could share this with friends who might be interested in learning about practical Christian faith. Thank you, and God bless.